What's he doing?
Why? Why do you do this to me? But in theory, everything should be working. Looks like everything's up. Frame 1. Greetings, Blade. So we got nice little pre-stream lobby going for those of y'all who want to hop in. Got that going. I want. So the hope is I do need to get the matches go, or the weekly matches typed up still. But I'll play one and hope someone else joins. Still got a little bit of time to assign matches. Shouldn't take too long. Hello, Bag. I forgot to ping the other roll, didn't I? Whoops. If any of y'all want to hop in, sure. But I'm also should be good to run solo, I think. Either or works. Okay, but while we're waiting on this, I'll figure out how I want to do these matches. What's the best way to make these matches even? Before I do anything else, this one is just done and dusted. We'll try that. And then... Oh wait, what the? One second. I need to go yell at someone. I think easiest way to clean up this mess, to avoid things, is just do it like this. I think this might end up being the best way to do it. Yes, I am. Sorry, I've been focusing on Twitch chat. I've been trying to just finish up the matches post real quick while we get some entertainment in the background. Okay.
What sort of nightmare is this?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Okay, I'm back. Apologies about that sound effect. I always forget every single time that it's not muted. That was my computer. Yeah, I'm back. I just didn't want to hit y'all with just the ASMR typing stream. Alright, let's see. What do I even feel like? I'll just keep working on this.
Ready? Get ready. Let's dance.
Even though I think Parasol has a much better time in this matchup. Let's see if I can figure out how Skullgirls functions. Time for pain. Why no push blocking? What are my opportunities to get in on that character? I want to jab. Back to full screen. I would love my butchers. Are you kidding me? Oh, and I don't have my egret to, yeah. It's awkward, yeah. Why were you pressing saw on skeleton? Really? Oh man, what is going on? I'm dead. Yeah. What in the world? Where did my confirm go? Go. How the hell do you play Squiggly? How does this character work? One of these days she'll make sense to me. Great shot. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that launcher only connected because it was... Why? But go for way too long. I didn't even get full charge. I'm sorry. So this on Saturdays the event is Get Gr8, which will start in about 10 minutes, and we will try and sign you up with someone else, or match you up with someone else who signed up around your hours, around your skill level, and then we will spectate the games, give you feedback for you to go back and watch the VOD later. And so we try and give you kind of like a couple things we noticed wrong, or what we might want to see you do better, or well, things we'd recommend you focus on improving. And then we just try and use that to help you kind of like guide your improvement. And then we do it from beginner skill levels up into like Clawmaster, who's a pretty solid player. Oh, we're throwing. Okay. And then Be Great is on Wednesdays, and that's where all the scary people come out. That is an actual straight up just online double elimination bracket. Why am I charging there? I wasn't blocking. That's awkward. Okay. Alright. I thought you were gonna shot. I need to cancel that earlier. We only host on PC. Unfortunately. Oop. A little bit of spaghetti. Yes, there is a Discord dedicated for PlayStation players. They don't necessarily have educational events, but they have a lot of people who are still very willing to try and teach you the game. Server, I think, is called PSN Skullbats. You might be able to find it if you look it up online. Otherwise, you can probably find it through main Discord, the main Skullgirls Discord. I need to stop ending my block strings with heavy punch. Yeah, no problem. Alright, there we go. Hello,
There we
Baghdad.
go. How you doing?
I am alright. How are you?
Being chilling, getting over a bad cold.
Unfortunate. Also, please yell at me for audio levels, because stream has slightly different audio levels than I do personally. I am currently turning Baghdad up. Let me know if it needs to be adjusted anymore.
Test 1, 2. Here, let me actually mess with my mic because mine is really like positional.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
Hold on.
Might need to do a last minute fix. Let's go ahead and squiggly.
Ready?
Test 1, 2. How's that sound?
It's a little louder. You might still be a little quiet for stream.
A little bit. Just a touch. How about now?
That's
Any better?
better on my end, at least, yeah.
How do I sound on stream? Test 1, 2. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
Okay. This is not a route. What am I doing?
I like these reversal jabs from Blade, but doing them so much is a little risky. I don't know if they're looking for critique of these games, though.
This is not enough damage at all. We are not playing 1.3 ratio. Oh. Still really quiet. I'll see what I can do on my end. Oh, unfortunate. Wrong one. Nope. You don't get tears on me. That's not how this matchup goes. I hit those. Am I close enough to the corner? Yeet, no. Oh, wait.
Wait, Agent, are you saying that I'm still quiet on stream? Or are you saying Dunces? Or the game? Or all of the above?
Oh, no.
No, I'm fine. Okay.
There, okay. It's really banking on that corner
Yo,
moving too early.
Yeah. I would hope Yo-Yo's a little quiet on account of them not being here.
Right, crazy. This is all we have for the signups. I can try and make some last minute adjustments for y'all, but they will be last minute.
Who we got? That one Val me.
What in the world? Okay, for some reason some of the responses are not actually on the I'll get y'all in. I'll fix this real quick. There's been an issue with the sheet compared to the response form. Where is... Oh, I'll fix this up real quick. We might start a little late.
We got a few people. We got really few people, so I don't think it'll last that long. Even if we do start like 10 minutes late.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely saying... We have Shacklington that didn't get in. Graphy somehow didn't get in. Blade, I'm not seeing your response, unfortunately.
You thought.
Okay. Oh, this is going. Shark Wellington.
Yeah, it's just Peacock being crap.
You would never just get things
I would
randomly.
definitely not rob my opponent in broad daylight.
Okay. There versus. Alright.
Reversal M George is such a funny option she gets to do.
That's just throw her, smile.
Just throw her smile. L bangs you. Gets a medium counter hit punish into Lenny.
And then Graphy is around 700 hours. So let's actually... I think this will be a good match. We'll see. how this
Graphy's been on
goes.
that grind. I've been seeing them in
Yeah.
here like every day, 5 times a day. Hey, any games?
I think that should
means
fix
to actually
everything. And then I'll make
Up
sure.
for some.
And the team-based fighter going from Strive. Okay. Keep that in mind for you. And then I need to look at graphics to make sure I'm not missing anything important as well.
Whoops.
Okay. Okay, matches should be updated properly. And I think everyone should be in now. hopefully that fixes a lot of the issues. The whole Skullgirls soundtrack is just great.
Isn't it all orchestral? Or am I crazy?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely hear some keyboards. This will be the last game. It seems like Selfish actually won't be showing up today. So I'll adjust that. If that's the case, what then is the best way to do this? Graphy and Dovad have played a lot, haven't they?
I don't know.
Haven't y'all? Like on stream or off stream, otherwise. No worries, Selfish. Life do be like that. Yeah, it's more just asking, because if Graphic and Dovad have played a lot, I can definitely not match them up against each other and try and give them a couple more. Y'all don't play a lot? Okay. If that's the case. Yeah, I saw your response to the other chord. My counterpoint to that is there's a lot more to being intermediate than like combos and resets. We place that as the bar because usually by the time people get there, they understand the other parts of the game, and so it's like it's kind of a cheat to try and one, give something for people to shoot for, and then two, it's like if you know this, you've probably put X amount of time into the game to understand the things we might want to be looking more at for intermediate players rather than beginners. But yeah. Okay, I'll get...
Oh, that was our last one, you said?
Yes. Yep.
Alright, moving on over.
I'll finish up editing the, whatchamacallit right after this. The matches. And then we will get Claw in here first, because they need to get going.
Okay.
So it'll be Claw versus an open lobby.
Up to them, though.
Alright, that should be good now.
I thought there was an intermediate test. It's just that you didn't have to take it if you didn't.
Oh, no, there's not an intermediate test. Those roles are self-assignable. And so, like, our metric for intermediate is, like, we recommend...
If you know combos and the basics of neutral,
yeah,
then it's like, okay, you're intermediate.
Yeah, and so it's like, by the time you start recognizing, oh, I won't kill with this combo, I'm gonna start doing that. That's also the time you're stopping doing the very basic block strings. You start going into using your assists better. You kind of seem to have a game plan in neutral. It's a lot of things combined to make intermediate, and they're all like very ambiguous. It's a fighting game. There's no easy way to draw a line anywhere. So it's kind of just to try and help with matchmaking, and it does to an extent, but like the categories are very broad.
It's so broad. You have advanced players like Biceps who are winning, getting to top 8 in majors, and then you have advanced players like me who can barely even place top 8 in the, Get Gr8 or Be Great.
Yeah. But yeah, if there are advanced players here, so like if Hydra actually wanted to hop in this lobby, because I know he was here earlier, feel free to hop in. Otherwise, I guess it'll be Baghdad or I trying to play, and they'll probably still give us hands. We should just be able to give advice either way, though.
Me and Claw usually go pretty even. Sometimes it's a wash on one of our sides, though.
I did much better versus Claw when I was a solo player. Let's leave it at that. For the record, so T-Rex, the way this works is we will call up whoever's on stream, They will play today 3 flat matches against a player we've assigned to them, and hopefully they'll be relatively even matches so we get to see offense and defense from both players. We recommend you pause while that's happening. Tonight is 3 because of how many people there are, Claw. If we do 5 with as many signups as we have, it would end up going pretty late, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's 3 flat matches. We give you feedback live while we're spectating the matches. And then it's always there on the VOD for you to go back and watch. And so we're kind of just trying to point out minor or major things we see. And then I usually try and give a recap at the end that's like, here are the bullet points for things I think you should probably be majorly focusing on.
Oh no, it's him. The anathema.
Who the heck?
That's Ruby.
Ruby lives!
Ruby lives, allegedly.
Alright.
Man, I remember back whenever I was first starting out in my intermediate days. You were one of the first, like, good players that I had ever fought in this game. And I remember thinking at the time, holy moly, Parasol's a monster. This character does so much damage.
I was just so low.
Yeah. Back in my Johnny P band art.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm still a Johnny P band, but now there's
Yeah.
a toaster somewhere in there.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm trying to think where Squiggly actually kind of wants to be contesting.
Well, not now.
Yeah, so it was... We tried to get charged, got caught by a stemmed heavy punch.
Ooh. You
Uh,
gotta be ready for those, like,
yeah.
jump scare moments against Bayo.
Okay. I will...
He failed an EX there. We could have gotten the TOD.
Yeah, okay.
That's a Beowulf game.
Okay, so the two or three main things I saw that game just initially right off the bat weren't able to uncharge fast enough to block this jump heavy punch, and then kind of got rushed down from there. Didn't capitalize off our beat extend saving us.
Shark. Shark, you're not on yet.
Okay. Tech.
Confirm, but
Alright.
good air throw.
Beat extend getting caught. Alright, we get the hit. We have our assist available now.
We are
Mixing off of
cranking
it.
busy with that string.
We're not getting charges though, which is the... Do we get it off of this?
Absolutely.
Kill. Nice.
Happy Boo Boo?
Nice.
I'm always afraid.
Yeah, the 2 medium kick out of Eden. I feel that. Good awareness.
Scooped.
Didn't quite get the stancel.
It's banned.
Alright, no, how are we playing on defense? Get her thrown. Good tech. Kinda sketchy to call beat extend there.
Kind of sketchy to not confirm off the block. Squiggly has really good ways to jail their opponents all the way to the ground and then run some kind of landing mix-up where they either land cancel and try and press a button. It's kind of like a 50-50.
It's a frame trap.
Yeah, frame trap is.
But yeah, good throw.
And Double has a really hard way of actually fighting back against that. So it's just like one of those matchup things that you should be thinking about.
Honestly, next time the ban comes in, I wouldn't mind us spending the meter to just kill him. Yep, too far away. Unfortunate. That's an SPO angle. Obviously really easy to say in hindsight. Raw brass is something
I
I,
like
want to
the
see rarely.
We were ready for the flat stab.
Got gripped. Push block, brass. Okay.
Or what's the incoming?
Take the Yoki. Oh no, this kills, doesn't it?
I don't think it
Ratio.
does.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
You had to Kara Brass there to get it to kill.
Oh!
I love that frame trap so much. That's such a good
Okay.
frame trap. Because even if he
Yeah.
masters the SSJ, the armor kills him.
Yes, we definitely recommend you listen afterwards. It's a lot easier to get distracted with voices in your
Yeah,
head.
just watch it back.
As well as, it's not as much of an issue now, but some people's computers don't like running a game in a stream, or some people's internet don't like running a game in a stream, so it just eliminates a lot of random factors.
If I have a stream open in the other tab, I go on like South American Wi-Fi. It is terrible.
Okay, like that, buying time. Almost have charge, jumped into the bomber, ran ourselves into the corner too.
That's a counter hit too. I don't know what we were pressing.
Well, it does like up forward button. And it's not necessarily an awful idea there, but unfortunately you got beaten out. It's... Yeah,
This is an ugly incoming for ban.
good. No push block though. Those were really good blocks, we just needed a push block. You teched him to the corner again. That's a habit to really be thinking about.
You appear to have failed the Mario Party minigame. You will be perishing for your problem.
Yeah. Beowulf games. So... Game 2 was the game you actually most aggressively just contested space without even, like, really trying to get a charge. And that was the game that went really well for you. At least as far as we saw, Ruby was really good at pressuring you to make it awkward to finish your charge once he saw you stop it. And so that... I think that's kind of where we saw Game 1 and Game 3 fall apart. You went for charge... They were able to kind of get around the beat extender, or at least pressure you through it with like an armored sweep or some other tool. And then after that, you were kind of just scrambling, and you kept just running backwards until you realized, oh crap, I'm in the corner. And so... I know one of the ways you catch me is because I like pressing a lot of delayed buttons on the way down, and so you up forward button. I saw you do that here, just you got caught by Ruby because Ruby was like doing hop dashes or things that the buttons came out a little faster. And so you couldn't aggressively contest for space out of the corner because they were doing pressure slightly differently, and you're kind of getting caught for that. It's...
Now, I might be tripping, but from the range that he got hop dash JLP'd and counter hit for it, I don't think Beowulf's 2LK actually would have reached. A lot of Beowulf players, they tend to just default to the hop dash overhead instead of trying to confirm a max range low, because if you block the low, then they're out. They don't get anything. There's no follow-up pressure they can possibly do that can actually threaten your block after you push block the 2LK. So instead, what Beowulf players will usually default to if they don't know the space is they'll hop dash, and this will result in, you know, even if you push block, they get the follow-up low into the medium, and then they call their assist, and they're in now, right? So you just need to get that little bit of micro spacing down to see where they can threaten the low or the overhead.
So, one thing I will warn you, their 2 light kick doesn't reach. Their, I think it's 2 medium punch can still reach you at those ranges, so that becomes a little bit more of a react game.
It's a
But
mid.
it's a low. The one where he
Not
reaches down and just punches the ground?
2MK. Yeah.
Or is that 2MK? Sorry.
Yeah, that's 2MK.
Yeah, so I would definitely default to blocking the overhead, and it also makes it really easy to push block that, absolute guard whatever else is coming, because they're too far away to actually throw you if you push block it. So that's how I tend to really try and deal with Ruby pressure. You still kind of need to hold one layer after it, especially if they haven't used an assist yet. But that is kind of my default defensive habits. One thing I will say, I did like to see you resetting a lot earlier. I know we've told you that a couple times. The first game when you got the hit, they weren't necessarily undizzy efficient resets, but that's whatever. You were resetting well before we used to see you do it, so that's already progress a lot in the right direction, which is good. Unfortunately, it is 3 games, so I think that's about as much as I really noticed from those. I don't know if you had
One more
any
thing
other
I would
things?
like to see you do. I play Beat a lot, and the cool thing about Beat is it breaks a rule this game has, where it is both a lockdown assist and an invincible DP assist. You should really be abusing the heck out of that with Squiggly's uncharged stancels, because people know that the uncharged stancel is minus, but if you call Beat Extend, it's still just, you know, a frame trap regardless, and they have to hold that. Sure, you can be thrown, but that's like layer 3. And
Yeah.
until somebody shows an answer to it, like, why not do it?
And then I guess one final thing. I know you like to do up forward, jump light punch, or jump light kick to contest. A very strong tool in this game is actually up back and then pressing a really strong retreating button. So up back, jump light kick, up back. Jump light punch doesn't work as well because of how small it is. Up back air throw is really, honestly, quite solid, and it also just auto techs if they try and catch you up back and air throw you as well.
Honestly, I think they were doing it quite a bit early on in the sets, but then against Beowulf, everything just defaults to the corner game if you get hit or if you take the hit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't think it was really they didn't want to do that. It's there was no space to up back.
And if you're watching this later and have other questions, this applies for everyone on the stream. If there's something we didn't address, or we addressed what you felt poorly or confusingly, just ping us. I'll gladly try and reiterate or explain something we may have missed if you have that watching through later. So on that note, we'll move on to the next matchup, which should be... Now we've got Octovender and Shark Wellington, so yeah.
Shark, you're up. Have you ever gotten to touch a shark?
I don't know.
Whenever I was a wee lad, my elementary school took us to the Pittsburgh Zoo, and they had a little water aquarium deal going on in it. And they had like flathead sharks or something, little mini like baby shark things. I don't know what they're called, but it was really cool. They were not smooth. I was lied to.
Oh yeah, no, they have quite rough skin. All right, let's get going on here. Make sure, was this one of the people who wanted me to focus on one character in particular?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Not quite, no. Yeah.
You're getting frame trapped on the command grab.
It's a really annoying thing to get used to, but it's something you'll see regularly, not only as actual pressure, but it's a drop in one of their combos. So it's gotta be up forwarded. Well, just jumped out of in general because it is a command throw. Good job. Oh, so yeah. Jump heavy punch.
Had the land cancel, and then we accidentally got backdash and
Yeah.
push block. We weren't ready. Good
Yeah.
2MP. Good.
Okay, yeah, we're just feeling out buttons, getting used to our characters still. Our defense for the most part is looking pretty solid, and we're pressing buttons at some pretty good spots. Ringlet Spike. Okay, gets caught, doesn't quite
We
get the
got
confirm off the
missed
eye
space,
yet.
yep.
80. Alright. Let's see if we can get a couple more hits on the bail. Although, for the record, Octo, you do like doing that as a block string. If people know and start catching on to that,
You will
doing
die.
wolf shoot, you will completely explode. So while it's working now, I'd encourage you to try and get that out of your system. It's something to do rarely, but not consistently. We're in.
I would like to see more up back from Shark with the up back cross.
Yeah.
Just slow the pace of the match down.
Good attempt at an anti-air, actually.
Good 2 HP. It's a little awkward to confirm on that hit.
Okay. Still just feeling out buttons. Oh no!
No.
Unfortunate.
That does so much damage.
Yeah. Hold this. Okay, so one thing I definitely think Shark Wellington can be adding to their game plan is try and be push blocking a little bit more. Especially once you get to the second or third hit of their block string. Try to be thinking about getting a push block off. It costs no resource in this game. I know you mentioned you came from Strive. Push block is a get out of jail free card for the most part. There are ways to
Until
play
people
around
start
it.
Layering their stuff, yeah, it is the strongest tool in your arsenal for new players.
But it gets people off of you. And in this game, that also really limits their ability to open you up. There's barely any characters who can throw you at a push block distance, all that sort of thing. And again, it doesn't cost a resource. It just puts you in block stun for 25 frames. It is a really good habit to get into using. And even once you get into higher level defensive ideas, that is what you build, like, that is the main tool you're building around in defense. Yeah. Once again. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, again, this is a command throw. It's pretty obnoxious to react to, especially in a block string. This Punish Punish. Nice. But if you up forward it, you can press a button on the way down and it will still be recovering. It's incredibly unsafe. Yeah, so, like, that push block is really good, with the one exception of Wolf Shoot. That's kind of what it traps. But it's a good thing to be seeing. That is the right idea to be push blocking there.
Push block up forward, my beloved against Beowulf.
Yeah, and then that hits very high. Okay. And so, for the most part, both of you, overall, just, I think, getting more comfy with your characters, playing the game more, is step one. Make sure you're enjoying the game, having fun. But, specifically, so Octo, we talked about the block string. Try and avoid going into Wolf Shoot. Try and think about other options. And sometimes there is no better option, and you will just reset to neutral and get used to recognizing when that is and not overextending. The general rule of thumb for block strings, in specials / assists can change this, but if you want to keep your point safe by their lonesome, try not to extend past a medium. Only go into the heavy if you've noticed you've gotten a hit. That is like the like golden rule of keeping yourself not necessarily plus, but at least safe. And this is true for just about any character. And then so for Shark Wellington, I know you're getting used to the game. Coming from Strive, it's a very different speed and like just mechanics shift. Valentine loves to be in the air, and like it's one of her strongest places to be. Getting her air crosses out is kind of her default zoning, and then using her mobility to keep her safe. Staying in the air is nowhere near as terrifying in this game because you have all your defensive tools in the air still. You have air mashes, you can tech throws, you can block. There's no ground unblockable. There's unblockable on rising, and that's about it. And that's a very unique niche that you don't really need to worry about
And
right now.
most of the moves that it's on are like super double digits minus if they whiff or if you block it.
Yeah. So it's try to get used to being in the air. For Valentine again, her typical neutral is like using crosses, and then the combination of her double jump or air dash to catch people out for approaching poorly. And so it's usually like air dash, jump, medium punch, just double jump into a space that's really awkward for them to contest, and jump heavy kick. Those are some of the usual things she kind of ends up doing. She's overall just a really mobile character, so the more you get used to playing and moving with her, the better a lot of things will feel. Philia is a very stubby character and likes to go in. Obviously, her namesake, Milia, she plays similarly. She's not as much a set play character. Well, I'm saying set play as an Oki. She will mix you, just like Milia will, and she struggles to get the hit, and that's kind of the way to be thinking about it. And then
a good habit to start forming with Philia is instead of doing light and a medium, she can do light and a light, and that is what your bread and butter is. Jab, jab, low, jab, overhead, jab, overhead with IAD, JHK. Like, that is where you want to start off with Philia. Because the entire basis of her pressure is her plus unframe light stuff.
yeah, and again, just to reiterate, most importantly for y'all is just play the game, make sure you're enjoying it. Progress will come with the stage of the game that y'all are in, so just have fun while doing it.
Also, check out the wiki. Mizumi is our version of Dustloop. It is a godsend.
Does this work? Does.
Heck
Exclamation point wiki. That is our Mizumi wiki. It has a lot of routes. Some of them are oriented for beginners. It has so many resources about the game. It's a
About
great
every
place to look if you
character,
ever have
it's-
questions. All right. We have y'all two already in here. Y'all are good to ready up. Thank you for making my job easier.
Who does Nerf play? I don't think I've seen them around here.
We're about to find out. Oh yeah, okay, they were saying Umbrella Band. But the band is a newer edition.
Oh, here comes the giant fist.
Yeah. Swinging... The thing about Parasol, and I think you've kind of noticed this because you've been playing her solo for a little bit, trying to get a hand on her. She has some
What
really
the
good
heck?
buttons. They have their weaknesses, so you need to be trying to use them deliberately. Like, think about why you'd be pressing them where. That's a very good place to jab. As Baghdad noticed earlier when you were playing. Oh no! Unfortunate. No jump cancel. Jabbing to check is a pretty good habit. It's a really strong tool for Parasol. I teched out of the corner. Love to see it. We already know how to get
Yes,
ourselves out of
shoot
starving.
the gun. Shoot the gun. This is a great decision.
It's iffy in this matchup, but it really depends on how the MB plays around it. But overall, shots pretty good. We're not quite getting our charges. One major thing I will say is I would rather you default to L shot than H shot. L shot is easier to avoid, but it loses to a lot less things because of how little recovery it has compared to 8-shot. 8-shot in a lot of matchups leaves you liable to just get blown up for doing it, even full screen.
8-shot is a great smother option for whenever you need a projectile in their face right now, and then L-shot is a great tool for actually zoning, getting them where you want them to be.
Yeah. 8-shot is the like little spice you added on top that's like, I think enough is going on for you to be unable to react to this. And you kind of just get a cheeky little, okay, now there's actually a tier on you instantly. That's kind of how Parasol zoning goes. You typically default to L-shot. Once they start jumping a lot, you mix in M-shots to catch them on their air approaches. While tiers are traveling, you also can't shoot a next one, so if you're doing 8-shot, you usually don't have any downtime, but for L-shot and M-shot, you can get a bite guy out or get a tier toss out, and that's kind of where you start feeling a little bit more familiar with the Parasol zoning. Zoning versus
bite guy is super integral for high-level paraplay. That's what makes your zoning incredibly scary for a lot of the cast, in my opinion. That, and of course, are huge buttons and air pressure.
Yeah, and y'all can keep rating up until the 3 games, for the record. Yep. We'll just kind of keep talking and then break the things down at the very end if we need to keep talking like we did over the last set. But yeah, and so there's that. For Umbrella, especially when you're in Ravenous, if you notice a Parasol's using shots at you, Stun Heavy Punch is a really good tool. So is your Reflector Super in any state. It's really awkward for Parasol to deal with because not only does it lock her out of doing another shot while the projectile is again traveling, if she uses anything to detonate her tiers, it will actually hit herself. So it's
banded front now.
Yeah, looking for Stun Heavy Punches on reaction to zoning is a reasonable idea. I really like the patient neutral already from Unarif. It's really easy to get into an anime fighting game and just try and press buttons. This is really good pressure. You're keeping yourself very safe.
This is so good.
Yeah, awkward hit with the assist. Special plus assist pressure.
Right now, the biggest thing I'm seeing about Nerf's band is just lack of combos.
Yep.
A lot of what he's doing is really good.
Really good patience from the Parasol. One thing I will give you a little bit of a heads up on for... It's getting a bit more matchup specific, but both of y'all are honestly pretty close to getting closer to intermediate. Parasol doesn't actually like being full screen versus bands completely. Being in the range where your jab and other buttons kind of shut them down is where you really want to be.
Band has a unique feature to him, if you can call it a feature, where every
Oh no, you convert off that.
air attack in the game can hit him rising overhead. Aside from like a very few specific instances, Peacock JLP for instance, Para JLP is actually a meme amongst bands. Oh my gosh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Being at
always
range
want
to
to be-
threaten up forward jump light punch or jab or dash up to LK.
It's terrifying. It keeps me up at night. I have genuine nightmares about that button.
But yeah,
Cried myself to sleep and then woken up in a cold sweat over it.
that Parasol combo that you're doing, Blade Dasher, is honestly a little bit awkward. It's finicky. If you want to stick with it, getting used to all the little things that kind of go wrong and learning to adjust is good in general for Parasol because of that's just how a lot of her combos work, especially if you're trying to salvage happy birthdays or something. You need to learn random delays that make things a little bit easier to do. If you want a different route, I can point you to ones that are probably feel a little bit more consistent, especially if you're not used to delaying buttons that much. That's a really good
It doesn't
tool.
really get the luxury of auto-confirming your stuff. because of the varying ranges of their buttons and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, we're stuck in the corner. Not push block.
Wait, the 2MK hits behind? Like, that's so funny.
Yep. Yep, okay. One thing we definitely can see a lot more from Blade is push blocking. It will help us a lot. Yeah, if we're gonna be doing launcher first string, which is not a bad option for Parasol by at all, let's get used to jump canceling it. We can tech out, block this, punish. A little too slow. Oh! Yeah.
You do not want to go 5 HP shot against Band. That is parry fuel.
So
Band will obliterate you for that.
When I talked earlier about the general rule of thumb, obviously Parasol has L shot, which is plus on block. The issue arises with very few things are actual true block strings, and so people who know that will start really abusing you for it, either with push blocks or mashing at the right times. So it's pseudo safe, but it's consistently punishable. Light kick, you get to pick up if any of the bikes, or if the last bike hits and they're close enough for you to dash up light kick, you get to confirm off of those bike hits. Boop, boop, boop.
Mash us this trade just kills you.
Little bit of spaghetti. Went for armor, but didn't have balance for it. Okay. One major thing, I think, for both of y'all on defense, look to be push blocking more. This game is so much harder for yourself on defense.
Just do it. It doesn't,
If you're not push
like,
blocking.
just push block everything. You're too early on to like be figuring out like more advanced punishes. Just get them off of you. That's all you
Yeah.
want to use push block for right now.
And in general, there are a lot of characters who have random buttons late in their block strings that can be highs or lows. So it's a very good habit to just get used to try and punish the second or third hit on block. Or not punish, push block. Just, it's like it's safe, they're committing to this block string. I want them with me. You can start trying to push block the first hit. It's really hard to do, and that's where you start getting opened up by certain types of pressure. That's a lot down the line, and I'm probably going way farther in depth than needed. Think about push blocking more on defense. It's a very, very strong tool. Other than that, we'll point y'all both to the wiki again, because or at least the training lab, because it looks like you'll have routes, but they just need a little bit more time to get ironed out, like efficiently.
Yeah.
And that just comes with learning the game. That's not a knock on y'all. That's just...
Yep. Nerif actually did really good as well, keeping himself insatiated, but not so much keeping themselves in Rav. They seemed to go a little bit ham with the, what do you call it? Rav stuff, and then the second that they ran out, they were scrambling to try and get an L bubble out to get out of the starving state. So you just want to watch your hunger meter a little bit more closely. Again, part of that was just because of drops and unfamiliarity with combos and stuff. But it is a huge problem to go into starving. That is you quickly become the worst character in the game whenever you're in starving.
Yep.
So that should be avoided at all costs if you do want to stick with Umbrella.
The good thing I saw, even though you were getting into starving, you were recognizing it very quickly and trying your best to just get the hell out of it. That's the right idea.
Against a lot of matchups, Reflector is just a surefire, I'm going to get this bubble off, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So.
And then one minor detail, I saw you do Reflector point blank. If you do the wrong reflectors, they will whiff and be incredibly punishable. So get used to the different distances you can send them. And that's just a different button inputs. for how you're inputting your super.
It's like a different combination of punches or whatever.
Yep. And so that information will be better on the wiki. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which does what. But yeah. Was there anything else?
Everything else seemed pretty fine.
Yeah. I think y'all are well on your way to intermediate. Like, especially more so neutral and block strings and pressure. They were already
Just
looking
on the cusp of it, yeah.
pretty good. I think the main things are going to be routes and then trying to start implementing a reset or two. I think, like, once y'all get that, y'all are getting there. Yeah, and this game is just nuts and fast, so scrambles and scrambled decisions just kind of happen. And you'll ask top players, why the hell did you do this here? And they go, I don't know. There's like...
Oh, I don't know, I was scared. They were about to hit me and I didn't want to get hit.
But yeah, on that note, I think we'll be moving on. So yeah, we are now on to the intermediate bracket. So we got Straight, who's already in here, and that one Valmain, who I'm not actually sure what your tag is on Discord. So I'm...
Didn't they have it in the Get Great thing?
They had their Steam username.
Oh.
But
okay.
I wasn't able to figure out which of their tags, ended up pinging them on Discord. So hopefully they're here and watching. If y'all know who this is in the Discord, please ping them for me. Otherwise, we'll give them a couple of minutes. Or are they in here? Dippy Dot. They are not in Twitch chat, doesn't look like.
Shrug. That's a good emote. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's not necessarily specific to Beowulf. It really helps versus that, and it will help in other situations. But basically, why that works specifically in that interaction is or works best in that interaction is you are push blocking to get them off of you, and then if you up forward, you can usually block anything that happens afterwards. And if they go for wolf shoot, you're right above them to just get a counter hit immediately.
Also, a huge part of Beowulf's game plan for opening you up on block is low throw. If you do up back, low actually puts you into block stun during your jump squat frames. So you can just get trip guarded while on the ground still, and you just won't get your jump at all. But if you do up forward, you're not blocking, so you're not putting block stun, so it can sometimes just get you over a low that should have trip guarded you. And also, of course, jump beats throw.
So, in general, after push blocking, that is a very, very broad topic. So there's a couple of things on defense in this game, but a lot of them end up stemming from how push block ends up being used. Push block is a core defensive mechanic that goes into so many different layers. And so there's layer one of like, I'll push block you away, and then either I know you're approaching me with a slower button, so very similar to how in Strive, if someone's doing a block string with gaps, if you're like, they're going to press a far-reaching, slower button that I know I can check with like a jab if they're dashing up to press it, you're just poking a hole in their defense. You can always just keep blocking, wait for them to press an even longer range button, push block them out even further. You can try and push block them and use a movement option to keep yourself in a safer distance, but that might get caught out by a long-reaching button. And that's only layer one. Ooh, is this connection not playable?
There was Wi-Fi, I did see.
Or did it just die?
I think it might have just died.
I think Delta's Internet just completely died.
Delta, you got a LAN cable? Oh, I think they just... Oh, yep, rip Delta.
Not like this. Bad.
I miss Delta.
Despair.
Yeah, the craziest thing about push block is after push block, you really can do whatever the heck you feel like. It's just what is the answer in that moment do you think it is?
Yeah, so for layer 1, I'd recommend just push block and then try and react to what they're doing. And so it's like, if you think they're going to keep pressing buttons, just block again, push block them out even further, really reset neutral, because 2 push block distances away is, like, no one can follow up on that.
And if they're still on top of you, you do push block, and then you do pillar bikes, and then that'll also beat anyone who is...
So later on in the game, there's a mechanic called push block guard cancel. Once you're done with your push block, you are immediately out of block stun, so you can input any button, including reversals, during that time, and get one right out of block stun. And that's kind of like the next layer to defense if people are really good at sticking on you, but doing it unsafely. Yeah, it's...
Like me, I love unsafe block pressure. That stuff's so much fun.
The more you play the game, the more you kind of get a figure out or get a handle on what your options are after block.
Good for it.
Or push block. Yeah. Okay.
You kind of just get a flow for it. Oh, goodness. You kind of just get a flow for it. The ebb and just sometimes I go in, sometimes I stay out. Sometimes you need to slow it down, sometimes you need to go ham. It all depends on how your opponent wants to play and how you think the answer is in a moment.
I will get to your question after the set, Jojo. I want to not skimp these guys on advice. First things first.
Up, back, IAD, JMP, and any classic.
Yep. Okay, what do we do on hit? We didn't quite get the restand. Good block, though. Now that you're an intermediate, I would start pointing you towards thinking about what you're counter hitting with. Combo starters in this game are very important, and so if you know you're getting a counter hit, even if it's if you're not going to do a counter hit specific route, try and do a route that's like a single hit start. So I would use your jab rather than your light kick as Annie, just to preserve scaling. Think about the ways you're starting to get the hits. It's not go lab a whole new route for X counter hit scenario, it's just, hey, I blocked this SSJ. Maybe I can just start with my launcher, etc.
Start with my heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going ham.
Getting...
We went to ham.
Oh, you can get a confirm off of that with a bypass. And then you just need to make sure you know and OTG this route.
I think that close to the ground, you actually have to do falling JLP.
That could be correct. Yeah. If you're gonna mash scalpels a lot, I would recommend looking into those conversions. Because air scalpels is a really good reversal option, 100%.
I swear I've seen BBP do like air scalpels 1 inch off of the ground, 1 hit of JHK into 5 HP into bypass, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? You've labbed this, haven't you?
From the depths, PvP appears.
BBP has this incredible ability to lab the scummiest of things, but not what they actually need. I've seen him press every button on a cat heads conversion. None of them connect, but all of the cat heads combo. No, BBP is the combo unoptimizer, actually. He does like the opposite of that. But it's 6, so it's okay.
Hey. Wait, throw.
Just a low throw situation, you have to hold that.
Let's get a double pressure. Air throw.
too close to the corner to get that monster to work.
Yeah.
Vacuum out of the corner.
Oh, Gregor whiffs. That Clyde is really dangerous. It works, but I would encourage you to be very wary of doing that. But it seems like you are. Okay, maybe not.
So Annie Beam, it can only hit one character, right? It doesn't pierce. So if you call your assist and it soaks the beam, that's just a free punish.
I think this is dead. We have this route.
Nope.
No one does he.
Ooh.
I don't think this quite chips out.
We had to let the car rock a little bit more.
Yeah.
Up, back, up, forward.
If you wanted to punish that better Delta, push blocking the first hit and then push blocking the next time you're able to keeps you as close as possible to the Annie for the beam. And so that prevents you from getting pushed too far away to do much of anything.
Or if you're cracked, you can PBGC arm, and that beats it.
Yeah. Although that does not give you a combo mid-screen.
No. But it does stop you from getting chipped out in those kinds of situations.
Yeah. Yeah, orders, whatever.
Is Pillar involved on startup? I don't remember.
No.
No. That would be
Yeah,
dumb.
this isn't tournament sets. This is purely for you learning. I would recommend sticking with the same team so we can give you consistent advice. But yeah, there's no tournament rules like that.
Yeah, if you want to swap order, assist, whatever, go for it.
You had to choose the stage.
Why did you... Alright, pro tip, don't choose the stage. That's my best advice. Don't be that guy.
Alright, overextending a little bit on block.
Raw bypass. DDP got... He popped off right there.
We gotta be push blocking a little bit earlier. That's sketchy to be holding that much for that exact reason.
What the heck?
Pick up. Air throw.
Good throw in the Helmbreaker. Foul blind.
Yeah. Oh, we got caught pressing. When you have Annie that close in front of you, especially when you... Oh, okay, you know. Oh, unfortunate drop. Ooh, avoid.
Philly a moment. Philly a moment.
Unfortunate drop. Yeah.
Straight is relying on grab quite a bit.
Yep. Grab is a strong tool in this game. It's balanced by the fact that it scales your combo immediately. So consider that when using it a lot. So the Clyde worked again.
Yeah, it's just kind of get mixed.
Yeah.
One thing from Delta is I didn't really see them mix up their movement a lot. Most of it was just normal jumps as like Val, and then like up forward, up or up back, air dash forward is Annie. That's something you really gotta be on the lookout because predictable approaches are the #1 way to get yourself blown up in this game.
Yep. Ironing out some of those confirms. A lot of those games seem to actually be like neutral seemed at least a little bit in Straight's favored, but not as much as the end result showed. They just did more with their hits than you. And that's kind of how those games ended up devolving. Is you would get a hit, you might get one mix, but you wouldn't end up like finishing off a character, and then they'd get a hit and mix you twice and kill your character. And so that's kind of what SG ends up being, is like refining a couple things you really like doing and just getting them consistent enough to not flub them. Because being in control, being in advantage with the hit and like controlling the mix is such a strong position to be in this game.
Having
So-
a plan for what happens whenever your opponent blocks it is also a huge deal, because if you have a great mix but you're like minus 30 afterwards, then well, it's not that great of a mix.
Y'all still played 3 games,
Yeah,
even
it was
with the
3.
first round. Delta, you're at 1 out of 3 because you rejoined. Y'all played 3 games. For the record. Yeah, I did. So things to do like Val movement or just Val in general. Some things I think I see a lot more from some Vals I play against. Jump heavy kick, I don't think I saw much of. It's a very, very big ball for some characters to deal with.
Hilariously disjointed and moves her hitbox back, so it's harder to actually smoke her out of air.
Yeah, so holding your space in the air and like landing with that button is a really strong tool. Jump medium kick stalls your air momentum, so that can be used to hang around in the air a little bit more. It's also a pretty strong air to air in and of itself. Those are good things to be looking for as a Valentine. The rod bypass, it can work. Don't get too reliant on it. Similarly to how I was yelling at Straight for doing Clyde on block strings or in neutral. It's it can work. It's a really risky option. And so it's kind of like a thing you'll add in when they least expect it, rather than something you want to be doing consistently. And that's the way to be thinking about a lot of those tools. The Philia, the most things I remember are kind of just unfortunate hit confirms and Gregor not quite catching the air throw mixes. It still did get you out, so there's an argument to be made. Spending meter to just get out of the mix is still fine. But that's a decision for you to be making if you want to continue trying to match there when they've shown they have setups that don't lose to it. Yeah, and so there's some of the things to start being thinking about.
I like that their Philia wasn't auto-confirming into whatever string into Hairball into Gregor, but if you're ever unsure that if you're going to be able to do like 2LP 2MK, maybe the opponent's too high, or maybe they're just out of range of it, I think it's 2LP 5MP 2HP Hairball into Gregor, or no Hairball if you do the 2 HP. That's like a pretty good auto confirm. I don't know. I just need to make sure I get this hit and make it count string for her, because a big part of Philia is being able to make those scrambly random buttons turn into actual damage and conversions. It's what makes her actually kind of difficult and not just a I'm going to pick up an air dash at you character.
Yeah, and then for Straight, the mix was looking good. I do really like how you were layering your pressure behind your DP. I was honestly really happy to see that you actually got top 32 at Mixed Masters Thursday. I think you play a lot better than your hour show, or you at least have a very, very solid game plan. That's a good showing. Just,
I have a question for you, Straight. Do you think it's stream nerves? Because I play so much worse whenever I am on stream. I have horrible stream and tourney nerves. So I if that's what it is for you, I totally understand.
Yeah, for you, Delta, stream nerves, they're totally a thing. And it's like one of the things that or reasons we do this live is to also help you get used to like bracket nerves or other things. If you can kind of get used to dealing with stress or get to the point where this does not stress you out anywhere near as much, that is part of the goal. That is like that's just another like little cherry on top for why we run this the way we do. It's
another great place to get on-stream practice is Danizen. It's a little bit I don't want to call it a toxic environment, but it's definitely people like to joke around and be rude and just pick on you. You have to. It's a sink or swim environment.
It is
right?
toxic.
It's a little toxic. They definitely play the metal pipe falling sound effect when you drop a combo, so that's pretty funny. But it's also a great place to get over some stream nerves, meet some people, and play people at your level.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that wraps up our major points. Again, I'll reiterate, if you'll have any other questions or want us to re-explain something we may have explained poorly, just ping us and we'll gladly try and readdress it after the stream. This is a learning tool for y'all, and if we mess it up, just let us know and we'll gladly try and fix it. On that note, y'all two can ready up. I think we're good to go.
Green New York water looking. What is that supposed to mean, Yo-Yo? Do I want to know?
Oh, yeah, Jojo. Sorry, Jojo. The question. Heck.
What's the round start?
I'll answer it in chat while this is going. I don't know. That's on me.
Just weren't ready for the confirm there. Good tech. And he's 6 HP, the madman. I thought that doesn't work anymore. Whoa, what was that confirmed? I assumed that was a drop.
Yeah.
We out. We exploding. Wrath punish on the grass and the throw. That's cheeky.
Yep.
That's funny. Dovo, I need you to be honest. Was that an intentional 6 HP assist, or did you just only get 6 HP assist while you were doing DP input? Because I know P Annie used to have some really funny 6 HP stuff, but I thought they nerfed it because they changed the launch angle.
Grass is touched. Dealing with the zoning. One thing I would say, we're using our double jump immediately, and our movement is a really important reactive tool to deal with what Peacock's throwing at us.
Good tag. I like that tag.
Full sending your double jump immediately and not saving it to actually play and react to any tools later kind of just forces you to block whatever's actually coming, and you have no tools to do anything about it. Good block. Push block. You've got them stuck in the corner. Respected them a little bit too much. Got thrown.
As banned, you really don't have to respect any falling air buttons from P. Everything you do, like, she can't threaten a low after that. Her fastest low is like 14 frames, I think. So after that, it's basically just push blocker as she hits the ground into do something to stop her from setting up.
Yeah. Overextended on block and got PBGC M-banged. Yeah, and these are some awkward matchups for P, especially P Brass, because your bodies are pretty large. But that's...
One thing I would like to see Giraffe doing more is gun preemptively to stop the Peacock from getting away and setting up. Just kind of, even if you end up trading, it's a knockdown, whereas Peacock just, like, you know, tickles you or whatever. You could also, if you're cracked, confirm into car. You also don't want to call your assist first in this matchup if you can help it. Because checking Brass and making sure she doesn't have that as part of her pattern for a really long time is a huge deal.
Yeah. In general, Brass as an assist is phenomenal for counter calling. So if you can try and play the point matchup without needing to call your own assist, and then using Brass reactively when they try and use their assist to cover their mistakes is really strong. Well, you had the right idea. Unfortunate drop at the very end. Good recognition of the happy birthday, though. Ooh.
We almost had it.
Yeah. I would argue that that mix is pretty greedy.
Nope.
I would have liked to see us just cash out and make sure the Peacock dies. Because now she gets out, restores red life, and acts as a really obnoxious assist. Good blocks. You can punish that with just a jab. Maybe even your medium punches. You're not getting a heavy punish on that, unfortunately.
Did you just safe jump parry with JMP?
I don't think it was necessarily a safe jump. The hit got parried, and then the DP came out.
I mean, I guess. I would have liked to see your longest combo possible just to drain meter there.
Yeah, another unfortunate drop. Yeah, so P is one of those inevitable evils you will run into with this game, and understanding the matchup is very, very important. There are really committal things.
What did she do wrong there?
there are very committal things you can do to try and get in. The slow and steady approach, as I mentioned earlier, involves a lot of being very deliberate with your movement. So the different ways to do it are to wait patiently full screen.
Don't do that.
No, and get over the H George as it passes full screen, then use the time behind it to move forward. The other option, which is easier on smaller characters, which is not as good for yours, is to try and get over the stand heavy punch and L or M George that's coming, and weave your way under the H George. There are also some really good videos that will probably give you a much better visual on this. One's called Navigating the Garbage. I think there's a PEC series on, I think might be Parasol specific on how to deal with Peacock zoning. There's a lot of good video resources that will help you better understand where the gaps are.
It's Parasol specific, but it can be applied to so many different characters.
Yeah. And then you have a couple more committal options. So for Band, you can try and Brass or E-Break through some of the projectiles. If you double raw tag as they're throwing out their first George Rekka, I think it catches them.
If they
no, it's on the stand heavy punch. It's on the heavy punch.
Yeah, it's on the stand heavy punch. And then if they commit to the whole shebang, then it gets punished. But Peacock can also do 5 HP, L George, recognize that you're doing raw tag, do L teleport to dodge it.
And so it's very, very committed. But if you think they're going to autopilot and not quite catch it, that's the window to be doing that.
Which Peacocks love to autopilot.
On double, you're kind of a blob in the air, which is nice, but you're a big blob. You can press your jump light punch to try and make you smaller.
Jump light punch makes you smaller. Flesh step is a pretty committal option, but it is an option. It's projectile involved, so if you feel like... Well, first off, if her assist like Brass is off of cooldown, then you can probably be like, all right, well, here's a good place to flesh step. You just have to feel out the matchup, though. And it's only something that you're going to get good at by playing a lot of Peacock. So, prepare for that suffering.
Unfortunately, it was kind of just the Peacock story, so that's the most advice we can give for that. For Dovod in particular, I saw a couple of teleports that were kind of just like, you weren't fully backed into the corner, they were just barely mid-screen, and you're just... It felt a little early. you weren't getting punished for them and you didn't do it very often. It's just always a really sketchy choice to go for that, especially versus Band who can parry and then blow you up for that. So thinking about when you're teleporting, because it's really easy to watch like Triv and go, oh yeah, teleport's broken. It's like there needs to be so many things happening, and you need to be doing your teleport at really good times in order to ever like have the effect Triv has. And Triv gets away with it because he's also just doing so much clown stuff on screen that the mental stack is so incredibly high that it becomes a much stronger threat than it really should be.
Triv is also one of the best players to ever hold the sticks in this game. So
Yeah. It's
there's a bit of a mountain to climb before you can start trying that kind of stuff.
It's something to think about doing, but really understand the risks about when you're doing it, because teleporting when you're winning the zoning is just like rolling the dice and praying they end up in your favor, because random scrambles kind of just happen. Yeah, Car can deal with P-zoning, but she can also just put down Lenny and win on reaction. So unless they don't have a bar, unless they have a bar, and then like P's always gonna have that bar if they're playing smart. So it's a rough matchup. Also,
Peacocks are strange creatures where the only thing they will ever think to spend meter on in neutral is usually going to be Lenny. Most Argus conversions really aren't worth it, especially if they like hit you with their assist already. But like you can, like they can. It's that bevy of choice that she has, and it's broken. Not gonna say it's not. But you can't always be thinking, she's going to Argus me if I do this. She's going to do this if I do this. You just kind of have to believe, and like I said, play the matchup a million times and ask a million questions, and eventually you'll be able to fight her.
all right. I think that's about as much advice as we have for that. Again, if you have further questions, ping me afterwards, preferably with a timestamp. Or if you just want me to take a look over at the whole set if you don't think there was enough advice, I'll gladly rewatch and try and give you timestamps for other little tidbits I noticed. But up next, we have T-Rex versus an open lobby. So if we have like a middling intermediate player, or starting to edge towards advanced, or like upper intermediate, it's probably the best skill level here. If not, Ito, you are not an intermediate level player. You are stay away.
Wait. Itosha, who are you going to play? That's the question.
Delta is asking if they can. We'll give it 2 minutes.
No. I know you haven't a lot. I don't want to see like 3 games of skeletal nonsense while this person struggles to understand what is happening.
Your Eliza Krusty, you say, as that Eliza took you to Ran finals of G8. And then you swap to your duo. Your Eliza is fine. I swear.
God, I hate that skeleton so much. I know the answer to it. I know what I'm supposed to do, but it comes out and I'm terrified, man.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
They are the most agitating framework known to mankind. It's terrifying. She goes, axe, and I'm like, okay, here comes your head. And then she lowers me, and I'm like, really? Axe, your head. Okay, time to punish. Nom. God dang it. I hate it here. All right, I mean, T-Rex says they'll run it, I guess. You want to get in here? Go ahead. You asked for this, though.
You can always choose Delta instead, T-Rex. That is an option.
Also a great option. In fact, that's a preferable option. I feel like a lot more good would come of that than getting bodied by a skeleton.
I'll let T-Rex decide at the end of the day, but Ito, if you think it's not gonna be a complete stomp, get in here. Otherwise, we'll leave it up to Delta. Because it's really hard to give advice on pretty one-sided games, unfortunately. Sometimes you kind of just shrug and go, you didn't block here, you lost.
It's them. Oh, it's Delta.
Okay.
Delta beat you, unfortunate.
Oh,
Better luck next time.
despair.
Where's Delta at abandoning them?
Wow.
I'm gonna boost. Oh, they died.
Death.
I miss Satosha.
She's dead.
Those balloons are
Alright.
What a round start.
Yeah. Oh
Until
no.
the game exploded.
Internet go boom.
Is it internet? I don't think
Yeah.
that's an internet.
No,
thing.
it's their internet.
Is it an internet? Well,
At least
it
according to
happened
them.
last time too.
Yeah, and last time I said I hate my internet.
Okay. That feels like a Lamba thing though, where it's actually your like computer though. Do you play on a laptop or is it just
I think-
your internet?
I think they know their internet's inconsistent. Like, Lana can blame their internet all they want. We know it's the MacBook.
Lamba has no excuse now. They're winning mixed masters, or at least getting top 8. They have money. There should be a solution already.
The toaster. The hamster's working overtime just to get SU here. Yeah, it's the internet. It's...
What were they thinking porting games to Mac back in the day? Goofy, Imagine a world without Lamba on Scuds.
Nightmare throw. Alright, that's the mix. Really good mix. That's stock standard. 2 really good reset points for you in the corner.
I think that's the Rising J2MK mix right there.
Yep.
We just messed up the input.
Too far away for a shot to work there. You got lucky they were pressing. When they're that far away, you need to either do 8 shot plus assist or snipe after the stand heavy punch.
I think we got caught charging there.
It's kind of expensive way to bail out. Keeps the pressure, but it's really easy to absolute guard there. So it's... You get 1 layer of mix off of it for 3 bar. Punish that. Grounded scalpels.
Good stuff.
You're playing Parasol pretty aggressively, but you're getting the hits currently, so this is still working. One thing to consider is instead of relying on shots on your block string, call your assist during your button block swings, and then that'll let you just dash up behind it and still be keeping yourself safe. It allows you to do a little bit better pressure as a Parasol.
Everybody warmed up? Let's rock!
Raw bypass.
Yep, it's a thing to be looking for in this matchup, but not something you want to be doing reactively, not predictively.
Raw grab on wake up is an option that you shouldn't do. I'll be honest. Especially if you don't have an assist layer
Yep.
behind it.
So keep in mind, they can safe jump there, but mashing there is a really good way to deal with that setup that's pretty much unreactable otherwise. You were ready for the air throw that time too. Good. You can tech there. If the jump heavy punch hits raw, you can tech there. It's a blue bounce.
Run up
Dash
there.
up throw, the classic. Kill the character. What's our incoming? Tech. Good
So
throw.
much grab. I think that was an attempt at a burst bait.
I don't think so. I think we just didn't realize where we were in IPS. Yeah, throwing this out for chip is really awkward to do if you're not forcing them to block something else. So when you're looking to, or at least when I'm personally looking to do that as Fukua, I'm looking to like have them block a clone, especially if they have a reflector. I'm trying to use M clone to prevent them from reflecting. Or if you have like a love dart that you toss in the air on the way, catching them as they land, then I layer that behind it. Otherwise, it's really hard to actually get that to connect for chipping people out. Or obviously off of H-Drill. The classic like mid-range H-Drill, fireball, super, just hold this chip.
I've seen JP do like max range L clone into H dart into immediate super, so that if they up back, the L clone catches them, and then if they up forward, the H fireball hits them.
Yeah. You want to have setups to guarantee they're going to be forced to block it. Yeah. So for the ground, EKG is probably a much better match than Scalpus is going to be. This isn't dead. No, it is actually.
No,
never
it
mind.
is.
I lied. I forgot how much damage the final bypass does.
This is solo damage, baby.
Alright, we can play patient.
What a fireball.
Fukua in general, she really likes to spend her time in the air to get the fireballs out, and then using her time on the ground to get clones out. You can try and set up a really slow approach behind L Fireball, it's just awkward, predictable, and really easily avoidable, especially by a character as mobile as Valentine. You are very dead, is what I would say. Good push blocks. Yeah. Going for the like next or the higher level thing to do after an air push block is actually try and time an air throw meaty after it. So that's the thing to be looking for if you're noticing they're landing, because otherwise if you try and catch them landing on the ground as they push blocked in the air, they can just do stuff like that. It's
also,
a
like,
very good time for them to be landing.
It's an especially terrifying thing to do against Fukua, who has JHK, the god falling button that will obliterate you for throw, you know?
Yeah, it's...
She also has a double jump, so she doesn't even really have to hold any kind of grounded mix.
Yeah.
She has Fireball, which halts her falling, or halts her in the air. It's one of those matchup things that you just kind of have to learn.
In general, trying to if you're going to pressure someone after an air push block, you are trying to time meaty strike throw. Otherwise, there's so many different ways for people to get out. If they have a double jump, they can double jump. If they have an air dash, they can air dash. Like, the world is their oyster after that push block ends. And if you are not shutting them down immediately, you probably should just let them go, because you might explode. That's the way to be thinking about air push blocks. They are an incredibly safe option the majority of the time.
A good tool for Val to have is playing Leapfrog, where if you recognize them air push blocking your strings a lot, doing something to fast fall the button, and then immediately just jump IAD, get behind them with JHP, and mess up any kind of reversal attempt or up forward, up back attempts they might have.
Yeah, that works. Again, also like fast fall. You probably need to delay it a little bit, or you just opt to not fast fall at all, and then up forward throw, just a meaty throw option. That is typically the go-to for almost any character dealing with air push block. It's a very strong option. Yeah, for trying to think a little bit more advice for T-Rex. With as much as you saw them mashing, I would probably like to see you implementing burst baits and or just understanding that, especially for Parasol, a lot of your mix options you can straight up just do nothing in it. So especially for like the stomp setup you showed, you show, you know, at the jump to medium kick. If you just up forward there and do nothing, it looks just like you're gonna actually instant overhead them. And it beats certain mashes. Some mashes get out, but you force them to spend a bar to get out of the corner. You can also always just block there and let the tiers do your dirty work. And Parasol has a plethora of burst baits. She is really good at burst baiting people. Yeah, it's recognizing your opponent's defensive habits and dealing with it are really good. Other than that, your pressure was quite solid, and you were just opening them up. You were like just dashing at them, guessing right on the high-low, and not getting push blocked out. And that was looking good. Again, I think you can layer your assists behind your block strings a little bit better. And you can also do it to force them to hold a high-low. Although drill is not actually a DP assist, so it's still liable to get you matched on. But using that to then force them to hold it rather than just dashing up on your lonesome and trying to high-low throw them.
It also makes them commit to the PBGC, which in a lot of cases, just doing nothing beats that. So,
yeah,
another layer of everything that we were just talking about.
Yeah. On that note, we're moving, unless you have any other words, we will be moving to our final match, Shoes versus NZ, who hopefully we bought enough time for. Oh, nope, Shoes is here. Okay, looking good.
What do you mean whenever you run Eliza, you have a real DP? I'm confused. Don't tell me you're running HCAT, huh? Or do you mean like just Pillar Butchers?
Yeah. Hitosha's acting menacing in chat. Alright, we got Foul Gaming versus Beowulf. So, one thing I see Ruby do a lot in this matchup is just, yeah, what you're doing. Play really patient, because the Val, more often than not, is willing to handshake, and then just get your hype before you opt to do anything.
I also see Ruby do that a lot.
Yep. Good land cancel. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but it doesn't have chair, yeah.
We could have chair canceled there, actually, to get the boo-boo. Oof.
Kill.
Definitely still at OTG there, but I like the safety.
Keeping the Bella in.
He's setting her on the ground because she's pain wheel. Bonk. Bonk. NZ is up 4,000 points. So, a little thing I want to note with Robo is it is always a safer option whenever you have the opportunity to in the corner to just leave. Don't try and a bar raid. Don't try and like press a button. Just get out. Unless you know you can get the hit.
She is incredibly good at running away, so that should be your default. And then once they're starting to get really antsy to run you down, that's when you start throwing in the I'll just throw in a sweep here. Yeah.
5 HPs. If you have
But-
drone, L drone, M drone, stuff like that.
But game plan number one should almost always just be putting yourself in like that nice little pocket in the air where like send heavy punch or jump heavy punch does all its work, where L beam does its work. It's incredibly obnoxious to approach.
Robo wins the game by not playing it. You don't want to be playing Robo.
She has some of the best mobility in the game. She doesn't have an air dash, but she's incredibly fast. She has an extra float. She has a double jump. She can always land with a button even after using her air beams. She's
Swinging for the fences with that JMP there.
yeah. Good pressure behind our beam. Don't know if we wanted that assist. That might have been a mistake.
I love this patience from NZ.
They need to get something done, though. They aren't quite actually boxing shoes into the corner, which is kind of the goal if you want to be playing this patiently. Oh, that's a really good spot to be thinking about air throwing. Yeah, raw wolf shoot is... that's gonna happen to you.
Robo hit the... And now this is a matchup you have to hold. Oh no. Never mind.
We got the hit. She's forced into the corner. We really want to keep her here. Oh, that's awkward.
We tried it. Fingies! That was a great fingers.
We don't have OTG.
Counter hit.
What?
Might have been trying to press Slasher. Same side Concho. Ew, evil. Evil little boy.
I do really like the jump cancel on the assist hit shoes. That is exactly what you want to be doing.
This character is about to take so much damage.
I don't think they're dead though.
No.
In which case, this is a really expensive choice.
You are one beam away from death. Yeah,
Yep.
get her out.
We now have time to also be keeping in mind of, and see if either player is
They have level 5.
cognizant of this. Ooh,
Oh my goodness,
that
wow.
worked.
This kills. For 3, yeah.
Now Shoes has the life lead. Just stay around.
Don't get banged.
You honestly don't really need to be throwing out projectiles that much either.
Oh,
You can
knows?
focus solely on movement as Robo. Yep. Looks like both y'all were actually pretty aware of the clock, which is very good to see. It's a very important thing to be able to notice. So much random crap happens in this game, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, there's 20 seconds left. So, Patient Beowulf is 100% perfectly valid strategy. I would want to see us a little bit more deliberately choke out space, force them into the corner. This time we were playing a lot more aggressive and we just got hit.
A big drop in the counter hit.
Yep.
See it.
Good push block. Good air
Good
throw.
grip.
Unfortunate confirm. That's the right idea to go for an air throw there too. It's barely too far away. Now she was capitalizing. Mix messes it up slightly. Overhead. You know they're crouching under beam. Another unfortunate drop. Get him out.
Good delay to get the confirm.
Now do you have these? Can you get enough meter? Very well played. Unfortunate. When we snapped on the wrong
I was
one.
so proud.
All of that was so good up until
What
the
the
last
heck just
couple.
happened, Dunce?
We don't talk about it. Alright, now, Shoes, you are looking to buy time. You just want this assist to get her health back.
Slow it down.
Yeah, couldn't quite get her way away from the Bella. We still have about the time. The Robo has most of her health back.
This doesn't kill.
Do we have OTG? Nope.
I don't think this.
Oh!
Oh no! We got crossed up, so we got the wrong grab. Oh, yep. Fly away now? No.
So... Okay, we just got the hit.
We could have just killed. We had so much. We have so much meter.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's running at me. There's a DP assist behind her. I'm scared.
Deal with all that. It's gonna be really hard for you to call your assist. Honestly, it's probably just worth raw tagging. Especially when you think she's gonna beam, because Robo can't really do much.
No, there's no punish.
Maybe, well, there's recognize the beam hits, level 3
Well-
install, beam again, magnet.
No, wait, she just has a sail behind her. You just do level 1 beam and just arm.
I don't know.
Do not cash out. Nope, this doesn't count.
Yeah. It does get you the life lead though.
Well, that kills.
Yeah.
Build ahead. You should have built ahead.
Getting armed. I think we need to arm again there. I think the... Oh, caught the backdash.
This is why I say just leave. That 2MK could have been an up forward JHK, and you're out.
So, it's really interesting. The highest level robos you see don't actually end up doing all that much. The way they play their character is they focus first and foremost on having Robo in a safe place, and then they try and figure out how they're zoning you. Like, Catpie just runs around, does mostly movement, does a couple beams, and then lets Brass do most of the work while he's just flying away. Tossle plays a little bit more aggressively, but still is just like, I'm zoning full screen, okay, you're close, let me get the hell out of here. PME plays incredibly patient and is just like, and has
PME
really strong
won't kill
defense.
a character until like 60 seconds into a
No, it's
Skullgirls game. But they have taken no damage.
Yeah, it's a lot of the highest level robo play is focus on movement, get the chip in later. Because keeping yourself safe, keeping that character alive is the most important thing. Not the little itty bits of damage that you're kind of rolling on getting clipped by a random normal for.
Huge portion of Robo's damage also doesn't come from mix. You're going to get very, very little from Robo mix-ups, right?
She's the funny DHC character.
She is the funny DHC character, but she is also the funny... I have the most damaging super in the game, bar none. The super does... My supers, especially like my level 1 super, does a hilarious amount of damage. And every blocked beam builds you, I think, 5% meter? Or is it...
I'm not sure, but...
If you whiff a special, does it still give you... I don't know if projectiles, whenever you first do it, and then whenever they're blocked, give you meter, or if it's only when they're blocked or when they whiff.
No, it's when you do it. It's specials on...
Okay, so
I'm
that's
pretty sure.
7.5% bar then,
Yeah.
for every beam that your opponent blocked. So instead, what you should just be focusing on is running away, building up that meter, and then all you do is one combo into that kills them.
Yeah, it's the Robo Classic. She's just really, really good at running away.
At being boring.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because the point matchup...
The point matchup was good. I think it was really smart. I think there was a lot of counterplay and just
Yeah.
patience on both sides, but also knowing when to go in. Val is a nightmare matchup for Bayo because she gets to play so darn safe, and it's so hard for him to get her down. But who do you call it was still doing a really, really good job of sharking the landings with Beam and trying to get her to block things on the way down so that he still got, so that Bayo still got to run the low throw. I think our problem was just a little bit of the jailing out of Beam into the hop dash jail P, which then allows him to run the low throw, and also the low throw that came afterwards, obviously.
Yeah, in
Just
general,
recognizing where your opponent has to hold that mix on their block string is really important.
to answer your question, in general, Robo almost always wants to be zoning. Like the joke is for Graham, who's also a pretty good Robo. Like he'll keep zoning you until he gets bored, and then he runs in and loses the game. Like it's just
He's just like me, for real, for real. He gets bored, runs straight up to you, 5 HP plus brass into gets happy birthday. And
Yeah,
you're
Robo-
like, man, it's just like me.
Robo has one really good grounded button, and that's their sweep. It's a pretty good tool to check approaches, but in general, she also can usually just run away when she's trying to use it. And then her like other normals to be using in neutral are when you're landing and you know they can't contest you landing with a button, and so that's when you're like, they've tried to get under you to finally catch you landing, and then you just land with jump medium kick or jump medium punch or jump heavy punch, and all of a sudden they have to hold that block. You call your assist and then run away while they're holding your assist.
Jump medium punch and like cross up jump, just like jump medium punch. They block it into. Do they push block it? No. Up forward jump medium punch again is such a strong tool for Robo. I hate it so much. I do it every game.
Man.
Keeping yourself, if you do find yourself having to be a little bit more aggressive, say you're at a massive life disadvantage or something, keeping yourself ambiguously minus is a huge part of her on block game. So just, you know, JMP, fall, jab, 5 MP, extend it with the thing, block, see what they do, you know, just keep yourself changing your game plan and don't be predictable. Because if you're predictable, that's what gets you exploded as Robo.
And I mean, this is a lot of like, quote unquote, how to play optimally. If you're still just trying to prove and have fun, you can still go forward with Robo. This is not to say don't do it, just
Run full screen grab works on pro players. Run full screen grab will work on pro players. It won't work all the time, but I've landed it on Triv, Nope, and Sage.
It's understanding the risk reward to approaching on Robo is, I guess, the best way of phrasing what we're trying to say. Her best work is done from just being obnoxious.
Being really annoying and not letting anyone, including you, have fun.
But yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say about that set.
Also, another really good thing I saw from you, you would run up, and then whenever you would run up with Robo, you would cover your approach with the DP assist. That is a terrifying thing to have to deal with. All of a sudden, the zoner is in your face, and you have to hold a mix from them. That's a really cool, good thing for her to do.
Yeah. I will reiterate now that it's at the end of the stream. If any of y'all have further questions or want us to explain something we talked about better, or if you are confused / don't feel like we gave enough advice, ping me. I will gladly address any of those issues. If you want me to look over your set because you felt the advice was lacking, I'll watch it over again and try and give you like very specific tailored advice. One of the downside to doing live review is stuff kind of just gets missed. Yada yada yada. So it is. Do not feel bad reaching out and asking for us to help a little bit more. This is a service for y'all. We host this for y'all, and y'all better be getting some out of it. Like otherwise, we did our job wrong.
Don't be afraid to add us. We love answering questions. Like, the reason we do this is because we want to go out of our way and get people great. So don't be afraid to add us, ask questions, or whatever have you.
On that note, I think the stream will be ending. As a heads up, there is a beginners only event. I think CatPie actually just put the link to the Discord, yeah, in our general chat in our Discord. That is a beginner specific tournament. There are other tournaments Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes Friday, and I think there'll be one this Saturday, or like next Saturday, a week from now. Yeah, just keep your eyes out. They are Cheekly Weekly, Be Great, our event, Mixmasters, Ron Kuhn, if he's running it this week, and CC&D Tourney will be the tournaments to look out for this week.
And of course, there's Danizen on Tuesday. Check out the
That too,
Danizen. It's
yes.
a great place to get practice in.
Yeah, Danison on Tuesday, as well as just any other random day they decide to run it.
They run it pretty much every day
Yep.
now.
And that is
it's
through
either
the
Grask or Sage.
yeah, that is through the Mixmasters server specifically. So if you're looking to participate in that, trying to get in that server.
Let me go ahead and get that link for you.
But yeah. Other than that, I think. Oh crap! No, I don't have. Wait. No, I'll figure this out later. I can't do this on the spot. I unfortunately do not have the ending video for the stream, so
No, I love that video.
I messed up. This is on me. I apologize. I completely forgot to get that ready beforehand. I hope this helped all y'all. Thank you, Baghdad, for hopping in and helping.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
It's much appreciated. Have a good evening, everyone else. Take care, y'all.
Good night, guys. And girls and everything in between.